You know what? I'll be honest. I'm going to do something which is rare for myself and take a bit of accountability, take a bit of responsibility, take a bit of... I can't think of any other appropriate words that end with ability. I've been getting lax with these intros. I'm going to be honest. I think they've been degrading week in, week out. First of all, we didn't have as many of the team lists pre-stream. Now, we're getting to 5:55 and I'm like, guess I'll start it. Guess it's about time, isn't it? Probably about time to get started, I suppose. And I meander my way to the computer, or at least that's probably the way that it would seem. It's not quite the reality. The reality is more me sprinting back into my dorm room in a frenzied hurry, thinking, oh my god, let's set absolutely everything up. Okay, I'm ready to go. Oh my days, where's my suit? That's more... You know the Incredibles, that you know, famous film franchise, and there's that meme of the dude, the Freezer Man. It's not his name anyway. And it's, honey, where's my super suit? That's like me, but my suit is just a normal suit. Hello, everybody. How are you going? Welcome to this your Friday NRL stream. We excuse me. We start off with a banger. I nearly died there, but we do start off with a good old-fashioned rugby league banger between Cronulla and Newcastle. Two nice, historical, traditional teams, if you will. These are two rugby league heartland places. Two sides who have had very different stories throughout this season. One in the Sharks, they're getting towards the level where they want to be in. They're sitting in the top 4 right now. That's been the level of expectation over recent years. Started the season not ideally, but they're in good form now. Dean's given his joke already. I can't even hear it.
Anyway, up Cronulla, you beautiful man. Sorry, United podcast.
I did not hear that read out, but anyway, it was Shark Park. Is Shark Park. My one and only joke for today: why don't sharks like fast food because they can't catch it? Anyway, up Cronulla, you beautiful man. Sorry, United podcast. Fair enough. That is actually a decent joke, and I should try not to sound so surprised at that. But anyway, the audio on my laptop hasn't been liking me these last few days. I swear, I can't even hear it. Hello, SC Skipper. How are you, my good sir? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, anyway, I spoke about Cronulla Newcastle. I certainly have very low expectations of them coming into this season. Not as low as everyone. I did not have them for the spoon. I believe I had the top 4 or just outside it. Anyway, certainly not this high up on the ladder. I reckon the winner of this, well, actually, more importantly, the loser of this, top 4 hopes, looking a little bit shaky. Anyway, there's the kickoff if you want to sync up with me. We're underway at Shark Park. It's my neck of the woods in Sydney, but I watch it from very, very far away here tonight in Canberra. Did Leaguie swear says, I missed yesterday's stream, but how good is Rugby League? Rugby League's not bad. I've seen worse things in my lifetime, that's for sure, in my 23 years on this planet. And yeah, I noticed you missed last night's stream, and actually, you might think I'm joking. Lorenzo followed. Again, got it out of the way early. Yeah, you're going to think I'm joking, but I actually took the opportunity to swear a couple of times. I was like, share it here. I'm not held accountable. So, Lancaster is saying, I live. It's been a while. I ain't heard that name in 1,000 years. Anyway, Knights are up over the halfway line here. I tipped Cronulla, I believe, to win this one. I haven't even put the poll up on YouTube, so I'll get to that. But I will say my opinion was swayed ever so slightly by Cronulla's centres being out in this one. Well, actually, Iro's there, but no Ramian and no Talakai. You probably... Nah, Talakai says being centre over. I was going to say, if Ramian was out, Talakai might have come in at the centres, but I think Hiroshi sort of. Anyway, no Ramian, no Talakai. So Iro is playing. it didn't change my opinion enough. I think them playing at Shark Park is a really big thing. I said yesterday as well, with women in league round, I've got this Superman little hair thing. There we go. I said with women in league round, we used to see a lot more sides get around it, putting, you know, pink in their jerseys and stuff. Cronulla absolutely nailed it this year, and pretty much the only team to do so. So respect to them. Respect to them. Do you have your Pepsi? I do. I'm about to pour it. Kick there on the last by Cronulla. Underneath it is the great Kalen Ponga. I'm going to put the poll up on YouTube. Damn. I tell you what. My mental state of being isn't the greatest. I've had a bit of a rough day, but we've got 2 absolutely brilliant games to take us through this evening, so that is exciting for me. If it was 2 absolute slingers of poo, I think I would struggle substantially. But anyway, here we are. Hello, Styler. Excuse me. Sharks going to dominate again? We will see. I don't think so. But anyway, we'll see. Poll going up. Because I'm very curious to see who you guys think is going to win. I've looked at... So I'm a part of a couple of different tipping competitions on different websites. And really, it's been very, very interesting, the differences in the way that people have tipped across those different platforms in this game. People cannot decide. They absolutely cannot decide. All right, so Matty Croker got through. Yeah, held the ball. Didn't go the offload. Anyway... They went out to Dominic Young and he tried something absolutely fancy, as he tends to do, but it's going to be Cronulla ball. We've settled down. We've settled down a little bit. A lot of people sided with Finns last week. Sharks ruined them. I sided with the Finns last week. I don't know ball, though, and I've never claimed to. Anyone that, you know, values my opinion, they do so at their own risk, because I certainly don't. No, I say that in jest. I say that in jest. Don't you worry. I was actually just watching a Friendly Geordies video. And he was talking about people who... He said you need to have a bit of an ego to do it. You have to have a bit of narcissism to think your opinion is worth broadcasting on the internet. And I was like, yeah, that's so true. That's absolutely 100% valid and correct. So... Papa Leaguie keychain will be done before next home game. Too sleepy for finishing it tonight. No stress. All good. I will, for anyone who is Canberra-based, be going to the game tomorrow, including the NRLW game, because obviously it's Raiders and Roosters. I'll probably be going, whether it was Raiders, Roosters, or Raiders anyone, but still, especially because it's Raiders, Roosters, I will 100% be there. Cannot wait to cheer on my Roosters girls. Last time I saw them down here, I got a lift back home from John Strange himself. Fun fact, that was about, I think, a year or 2 before my Leaguie days. Little did he know, right? Little did he know. Of course. SC Skipper has subscribed. I don't get subscribers. What the hell's doing here? Subscribers? We don't do that on Twitch. And gifted us. Okay, this guy, I think we have established that he is made of money. That's, I'm assuming I actually don't know. I might be wrong. Anyway, I'm assuming, and it is proven, that he's made of money. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. That means a lot, because yeah, I don't put all too much effort into Twitch relative to YouTube. I mean, I stream on both, but to see stuff like that happening on Twitch, very cool. And Mario's donated.
Is it weird or kinda cyclical that drill and RL are 2 sides of the same coin at its base level? People representing their area and being very proud of it to the extreme.
That drill and RL are 2 sides of the same coin at base level. People representing their area and being proud of it to the extreme. Do you mean drill like the kind of music? The music? Or... by the way, I've spent... Well, we are 6 minutes into this game. I can hear the commentary on my headphones. I cannot hear any of the inputs on the stream, and it's really annoying me. I can see that you guys can hear it, and really that's what matters. But... I don't know. SC Skipper says, all gravy, man. You said you had a rough day. Hopefully that makes it a bit better. It did. It really did. Thank you. I appreciate you doing it, certainly in light of that. Yeah, for those of you who were here yesterday, you'd know I've been... So I'm a residential mentor in my building here at ANU, which means I'm like a student who takes care of other students in a well-being capacity. I do checks, I run events, stuff like that. And today was all about mental health, and it was long, as Brad Mabest makes an error there. It was a really long day of it, So I brought up a couple of demons for me, but mostly it was just that, you know, it was heavy for a very long time. So it's a bit of a day where, like, I've literally just done that all day, run here, get on stream, and the headspace is a bit weird. But anyway, I'm someone that operates generally at just 8 out of 10 all the time. So anything below that stands out. So it's really not an issue. Really not an issue. Apparently, I've just got a notification saying a hype train has started on Twitch. I intentionally have gone out of my way to know what stuff like that means. Or like sub goals or follower goals. I don't know. If people want to follow, they can follow. I value your opinions as viewers too much to be like, yeah, let's get numbered to be bigger, please. Anyway, I'm going to try something else in my audio. It will mean you guys... But it's honestly the only way that I think I can make this work right now. Because this cable ain't cabling. Anyway, Kalen Ponga takes a tackle there on the third. So here we go. The fourth. Gets that now to Matty Croker. Nice dummy going himself there. They'll be within striking range here on this last play. They will be. I think music is back for you guys. Anyway, kick there from Fletcher Sharp. I think it's been knocked on by Nico Hines, and it has. So, 6 more here for the Newcastle Knights. Right. Laptop audio, not laptop audioing. What the hell? I'm going to turn my headphones on and off again. Are you wearing your Rooster jersey for the game? Storm better win. I am, and they won't. No, I'm pretty optimistic, for sure. And it's actually set up really well, because if we lose, I'm going to be absolutely devastated. If we win, I'm going to be absolutely over the moon. Because even though I know that Melbourne are stinky, still beating the Storm is like the ultimate for me. Damn it. Audio is not having a good time today. It really isn't. Will. Whoa, thank you, sir.
Well, that's why you get the big bucks, baby. That's why you get the big bucks.
Do you remember when Kyle felt milked a penalty against Tigers in like 2022 or 2023? Yellow square emoji. Yellow square emoji. Yellow square emoji.
Again, I can't hear if the message is still playing, but I think it is. Emoji. Anyway, yeah, I think I do. If you mean milking a penalty, like that one that was right at the end of the game, the Tigers actually like wanted to legally challenge in court. I certainly remember that. It's funny, I actually use that as an example a lot. Newcastle literally scored a try, but I've been trying to fix my audio. That's absolutely hilarious. No way. Well, I didn't get to watch... We're back. I was resetting my broadcast because I had turned my headphones off. This is like everything that could possibly go wrong. The one important thing. I only have one important thing. It's the audio. I just need to be able to hear the game. Don't even really need to be able to see. I just need to hear it. And then hear you guys. Can't even hear you guys. Devastation. We're back though. What happened then? I picked up my iPad, which I watched the games on, dropped it. It landed on my laptop with such force that it dislodged the Ethernet cable from the back of my laptop. That is impressive. How does that happen? Anyway, no goal? I don't even know because anyway. I'm glad that it's no goal because I don't need to change the scoreboard. Okay. I've got the broadcast back on. That's good. That's step one. Thoughts on the Newcastle Knights? Tiger, I am wildly impressed by the Newcastle Knights. I think of... Well, actually, maybe Manly more exceeded my expectations this season than them. But they're absolutely spot number 2, and it is very, very close. Yeah, behind? I am behind. Or you mean the conversion was behind. Anyway, if you want to sync up with me again, the clock currently says 29:32. If Roosters somehow lose tonight, you should send me a photo of you holding your toothbrush. No, I'm not doing that. I don't know why you want to see my toothbrush so much. Mario again.
Big bucks, baby. That's why you get the big bucks.
Leaguie, did you see that St. Helens, according to English media, are done for the year after their Toulouse-lose?
I didn't see that, Mario, but I wonder if, you know how we have in the NRL, if you concede 50 points, it's done. Like, done. You ain't winning that comp. I wonder if the Super League have their equivalent. I don't think it would necessarily be 50, because that's a ARL-specific measure. But 66, I would imagine. No, it wasn't 66. Sorry, that was the Dolphins game. It was 46 or 48 or something. I wonder. But no. Yeah, St. Helens are not the team that they once were. Great catch from Kennedy in the goal there. It's going to be a 20-meter restart. Good stuff. Why would you remind me of that? Yeah, I apologize. Styler, thank you for following on Twitch. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. That's, yeah, it's making my day a bit better. We're going to be happy, I assume. I assume as well. Leeds especially. I'm kind of on the Leeds hype trade. But I want, well, Catalan aren't really going to do anything. Toulouse have got a couple of nice wins now, but they're not going to do anything. So, I'd love one of them to win the Super League. I'd love it. Thoughts on the World Cup this year? Toa Samoa are going to win. That's the only World Cup I care about. Thank you, Storm on top, for liking. I don't think you're going to like the next stream, but anyway. Nicola with our own. So, is anyone in the chat a Sharks fan? I know we've got a few. I don't know if any of them are here especially, but the names on the back of their jerseys, I'm assuming that it's just a woman in league who is important to them. But it's interesting that they've got names on the back of their jerseys, but not their own. And you know, names of girls. So, Megan says, let's go Newcastle. Well, it's been a good start for them. It's certainly been a good start for them. Leaguie, I'm going to Vegas to watch the NRL games there. I went first year, and it was great. And I absolutely want to go back. I don't think I'll go back for next... Well, I definitely won't go back for next year. But I'm hoping the year beyond that, Roosters might be coming back again. I'm kind of I guess, confident, quietly, that will happen. And yeah, I'll get the chance to go again. I don't have another aux cable. This is so frustrating to me. To be honest, it'll be Roosters Dolphins in Vegas again. Well, because you'll have probably Bears be the other team. I don't know. I just think Roosters always internationally minded. We're Sydney, which is marketable. We're red, white, and blue, which is marketable. And unlike a lot of other clubs, we actively want to go over there. So I think it kind of makes sense. What if NRL revised PSG for Super League and PSG... I get PSG football as a cross promotion? Would be a nice little thing to try and do, for sure. PSG, you know, they were a rugby league club at first. But... yeah, I wonder if that IPO, is that what they call it? That basically intellectual property is way too valuable for us to really be able to afford. Anyway, kick up in the air from Tricky Trindle. Underneath it, Dominic Young has screwed that up completely. Kennedy's got it, and Kennedy has scored. Dominic Young has had one of the all-time Dominic Young moments right there, and Cronulla level things up. I keep plugging it in. And my headphones go aux. And I'm like, oh, good. It realizes that I'm listening in an aux cable. And then just doesn't play any audio. This is so weird. Sorry, I know that the music got really loud there. Hang on. Sorry. Something's going wrong with the audio for sure. I can see it spiking there, and I can't hear it, so I don't know why, but I've muted it completely. I apologize for that. I don't know what that was. Aux Cronulla, yeah. I didn't need catastrophic audio error today, particularly. But anyway, where are you watching the footy? Like platform? I'm watching it on Foxtel Go. Okay, yeah, I've muted the audio for you. It's so weird because it keeps connecting and disconnecting. I'm good with technology. I'm actually really good with technology. But I don't get this. So Dom Young there, I mean, really, he's got those moments, and they're certainly in him. Tries confirmed. And it really does take away, the rocks take away from the diamonds with Dominic Young. And I say that as an absolute lover of Young. I think he's brilliant at his best and so marketable and potentially so good for the game. But in terms of his actual output on the field, yeah. PSG tag along with Uncle Nick is not a bad idea, as Robbo is well cultured with the French. What do you mean? You mean like the Roosters get involved with launching a franchise in France and calling it PSG? Tech Gremlins coming in hot today. Yeah, they are. I'm seeing my laptop do things that Windows computers are not supposed to be doing. Like, literally. Anyway, Sharks are on top. I'm trying to think if there's an alternate way I can get around this. I think there might be. I think if I got real creative. Anyway, I'll see what I can do. Oh, I can hear it. Okay. This should be good. Yeah, this was good. I think I fixed it. I'm actually such a legend. Anyway, this is the fourth tackle. You know what? I'm actually going to be able to commentate now. I'm not going to just be sitting here like frozen trying to figure out if my audio is working, because we've got it working. Love it when my laptop actually works. Thank you very much. That's knock on. I don't know if he played it with his hands, but Britt Nickera, it did come off sort of his shoulder and head. It's going to be a 20-meter restart. Knighted says, please televise. Unfortunately, Copyright Act 1968 prevents me from doing that. Yeah, it came off. It did come off his arm. So it's a knock on in the field of play, but anyway, that's the call that they went with, so it's correct. Or will it be a 20-meter tap? Yeah, they will. Which actually, I was wrong about that, because I think the ruling there is because it's the better outcome for Newcastle. They get that. It's like a form of playing the advantage. Anyway, Bradman Best with a hit up there. He'll play the ball to Fletcher Sharp. 23 minutes left in this first half. It's gone. Luckily for me, I sorted out the issues within the first quarter of the first game. I was like, this entire stream, I'm going to be trying to... Because like I watch the game and I listen to the commentary and it informs me a lot. I'm like, I'm going to have to do it without the commentary or without, being able to hear you guys or the music or whatever. So I don't know. Who are you going for in this? Probably Newcastle. But not too deeply. I tipped Cronulla, as I said, so from a tipping perspective, I'd want Cronulla to win, but I like Newcastle more. Oh, Watson.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Testing.
Can confirm.
Less than 3.
3 less than 3. Can confirm. I heard it that time. That's great. Valandis has mentioned Uncle Nick as a visionary in the game. By the way, a high roller in Hong Kong is interested in buying a 70% stake in the Storm. This was reported by Total Rugby League. How reputable are Total Rugby League? Because that sounds great. But I don't know them to be an overly reputable platform. But, I mean, that sounds great. There was a guy, I can't remember his name, but he was a big investor in the UK. This was like 10 or 15 years ago, who was really big with the Salford Red Devils. And my dad used to say a lot, we just need basically one of him for every single Super League team. Evidently, it didn't go too well for Salford, so I don't know if he lost interest, but yeah. Yeah, I do certainly... It's one of the things I like about the Roosters, that I think we are very internationally minded. I think Uncle Nick, with his love of, say, the LA Roosters as well, for instance, cares about that expansion and cares about the legacy that he leaves. So, yeah. All right. So, Kalen Ponga, short ball there to Dylan Lucas, and he's knocked that on poorly there. Brilliant tackle it was, but on the fourth, and they're going to kind of counter-attack here through Sione Katoa. The Sharks start this set up on the 40. That's great. Total podcast, RL podcast to be accurate, the latest episode. Well, I'd love that, obviously. I'll believe it when I see it. Who do you go for in the Super League? I kind of like a lot of different teams in the Super League, which is really not what you're allowed to do. Knock on their Cronulla, so it's a little bit scrappy. But Knights have it in Cronulla's half to start this set. I've been to a lot of different Super League games and kind of fallen in love with teams as I've been to their home matches. But from an International Rugby League perspective, it's Catalans and it's Toulouse. Both of which are teams that I've seen home games to, I've been to. So definitely those two. I think maybe Toulouse slightly more. I know Catalans have been around for a very long time. Maybe haven't gone to the heights that we might have wanted. Toulouse, I think, have a lot of potential. Anyway, here come the Newcastle Knights. Oh my God, I'm egregiously behind because people are already saying try. I'm only about a tackle behind, but still, that's not what you want. I'm going to try and get back on a bit more level terms. But speaking of, it's not even level terms, it's taking the lead. Greg Marshall has got the Newcastle Knights back in front. Perfect there for the Newcastle Knights, capitalizing on an error by the Cronulla Sharks on the halfway line. Turned it into a full attacking set in good ball territory, and that's just simple. Draw and pass, fighting the numbers. Greg Marju, by God, he can find the line, and that was a good one there. Hines ain't stopping him from that position. Clock says 1934, if you want to sync up with me. Leaguie, do you know Jared Wallace? Of course. Of course, Jared Wallace played through very much my my childhood experience of rugby league. My dad wants Roosters to win so Storm don't make finals. It was like yesterday. I wanted Penrith to win so that Broncos don't make finals. Now, if we win, are we within 2 points of them? Like, that's kind of crazy if so. But yeah, I also want Roosters to win, funnily enough. Thank you to the link. Again, as I say, I suppose, like, I've clicked on the link. I just don't know them as a source. They've got 2.29k subscribers. But, yeah, we'll see how reputable it ends up being. Imagine not wanting Broncos in finals. Look, it's not a Broncos-specific thing. I explained this yesterday. It could be anyone. It's more that I don't want the Premiers in the finals because that's funny. That's really quite funny to me. Anyway, Ponga hits it, and it's going to bounce off the upright. So 8 points to 6 it is. A number of you guys are very much ahead of me, including Storm on top. If you could, I guess, as a favor to me, just wait, I don't know, 5 seconds or 10 seconds before sending you a message just saying try or no goal. Because I'm actually right now reading try or no goal in the chat, and then it starts happening on my screen. And so it just spoils it a little bit. Thank you again, Mario. The total's massive now.
Does Joey become immortal if the Super League war doesn't happen? His first ring was the Spilt season, 1997.
I mean, that's a huge question. We're up to $40, by the way. Thank you, Mario, largely, but also everyone else. I think Will donated a big earlier. Watson donated, so thank you so much. Yeah, so, I mean, yes, I think so. Because not only is he an immortal, but he is the best of them, to my mind. So, yeah, I think certainly he does. I know that obviously the context of that time was a very unusual time for rugby league. It introduced new variables. Maybe that ended up getting the best out of him and it wouldn't have otherwise happened. But I don't think there's a world where, just because there's a unified competition, we don't see the very best of Andrew Johns. You know what I mean? I don't know, though. And admittedly, it's a part of rugby league history that I want to learn more about. I don't know a lot about the Super League war. I know NRL era in absolute depth, but I don't know a lot around that. So, yeah. C Phantom says, if the kangaroos on my campus aren't wife friend shaped. Did you get beaten up by a kangaroo, C Phantom? Have you gone up to a kangaroo and been punched to death? Well, not to death, evidently, but, you know, punched into a C Phantom shaped pulp? What platform are you watching it on? Foxtel Go. Unfortunately, can't get any more up to date than that. Do you remember Sharks winning against Dolphins 66-0? I remember it like it was last week. I tried, but it didn't punch me. It just hopped away. That's so sad. Admittedly, I've eaten kangaroo. So, I don't know if I really have much of a leg to stand on. Thoughts on the women in league round Sharks jersey, says Ninja. Well, I mentioned it earlier, but it's brilliant, and I want to give the Cronulla Sharks a lot of credit for actually being a team who did something with their jersey for women in league.
Hey, Leaguie, someone just redeemed a thing.
CBDK04 just redeemed Pepsi Max sip and Storm Miss F.
I'm sorry that overlapped. What Watson said was, would be funny if Prems, minor Prems, and Storm miss F. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Pretty much, if you somehow added Penrith to that, it'd be perfect. But anyway. So off goes Aden Fanua Blake. That's not good. That is really not good. League, sorry to tell you, but Chooks are up 34-0 at halftime. Hey, if it's that kind of news, I'm happy to have it. That's very funny from yourself. Rugby League Digest is the podcast of historical record regarding Super League. I've been recommended it by a lot of people whose opinions I respect massively, including yours. So, yes, I would definitely be getting around to that at some stage.
CBDK04 just redeemed timeout self.
I still don't really see the appeal of doing that, but sure. If you like, I guess I'll oblige. All right, here come Newcastle. This is the last. Dylan Brown with a good kick over the top there. It's going to find Bradman Best. Now Fletcher Sharp with it. He's given away a penalty in possession there by running behind one of his teammates. No choice there for Ashley Klein. No, please don't jinx it. I know we're getting cooked. Look, okay. If we lose to a Melbourne Storm with a Haas pairing of the Sharp and the Toe, yeah, that's curtains. But yeah, it's still the Melbourne Storm in my mind. Who did they name on the wing initially, who's now being replaced by Malatu Brown? Was it... It's not Warbrick, because Warbrick's on the other side. Moses Leo? It's probably Moses Leo, who's not playing. I'm scared of Will Warbrick only when he plays against the Roosters. I think it's a bit overrated aside from that, but when he plays against the Roosters, he always just does brilliantly. You drank all the Pepsi? I didn't, actually. I pour it into a water bottle. I'm weird like that.
C_Phantom just redeemed change the background color. Dictator Mbappe demands you change the background to blue for the French football jersey immediately.
Hey, I will oblige, and I will oblige happily. I think blue is probably the nicest color of background I can do with these lights. Green is banging, but the blue is like so blue. It's so blue. Anyway, 6 were there for the Cronulla Sharks, run by Oregon Colfusi. Munster Magic says I support Sean. Well, I tell you what, you could have fooled me. That is a bit of a revelation. Wouldn't have guessed. Wouldn't have guessed. All right, kick there. It was by Blake Braley on the third. He's going to force a goal line dropout. Tell you what, though, he was going for himself. He had one vision, and that vision was to score a good old-fashioned rugby league try. Sheetal says, came back from the movie of Moana. How was it? I'm going to be real. I ain't going to watch it. It's not really up my alley, and there's a couple of other movies, i.e. The Odyssey and Spider-Man, that are more up my alley. But curious as to how it was. All right, so the get it. In fact, it's a knock on, apparently, Newcastle. So Cronulla will get it back here. 6 more tackles, 10 meters out. This is shaping up to be a very good game. The Sharks with a great chance here. Katoa, he's going to pin the ears back here. He'll score. I tell you what, the absolute Strait of Hormuz opened up in the Newcastle Knight defense. And I tell you what, because Trump was not blocking that one. He was like, Sione Katoa, so you go straight through, easy as you like. Honestly, Sione Katoa was never going to be stopped from there, but he never should have had the opportunity. Cheetah says 8 out of 10. That's very high praise for the Moana movie. Wow. Good stuff. Thoughts on a Paraguayan senator threatening to sue Mbappe under gender-based violence because he called her out on her racism. I didn't know that that's how that story had progressed. She's threatening to sue Kylian Dictador. That's... Wow. I'm curious how she would bring that action. Given that Kylian is not in Paraguay. Has never been in Paraguay. Yeah, that... I don't know. Anyway, that's going to be an absolute bureaucratic nightmare that definitely won't stand up. Hit a goose step for no reason. The reason was that he couldn't believe... well, I think anyway. He couldn't believe the gap that had opened up. So he kind of had to stop and, like, process what had happened. And is like... Yeah, inshallah, and just went straight for the line. I reckon so. Would you rather kiss Mbappe or kiss Marky Mark? I'm sorry, but Mbappe, Ninja Turtle ass, keep that to yourself. Mark Nwangani Tawase and his curves, like the curves, curly hair, I mean, absolutely. Not his curves. Conversion kicked, and the Sharkies lead by 4. Are we all in agreement? Up Spain, F Argentina? Yeah. I don't know if I'm in the F Argentina crowd as much as most people are. I just didn't want England to win. I don't really care now. My mates are going to go out to a nearby suburb. It's not even that nearby. A pretty distant suburb at 5 in the morning here to watch the World Cup final. And I'm like, ugh. Can we not do it here? I guess I'll get up for it, but can we not do it here? But all I cared about was England not winning. Spain win, sick. Argentina win, great sporting story. Great sporting story for Messi at 39 years old. That will make me kind of happy. But anyway. Yes, very Christian Carto speaking Arabic mid-goose step. Look, I am also a Catholic. But you know, when inshallah is not a... Well, it certainly is a religious thing. But in the sense that I use it, it's a state of being. It's a thing you feel deeply in your soul. Penalty there, Cronulla. Of just like, what I would say is effort, but if I did Leaguie's Spur would be on to me about it. So I'm just like, inshallah, God willing, I reach the line. Inshallah, as Marbo, it's justice is the vibe. This guy gets it. Sea Phantom gets it. I'd rather not see Argentina win another World Cup before I get a girlfriend. See, one of my best mates growing up was from Argentina, so I kind of like them from that perspective as well. But, again, like, if I had to rank the teams that I didn't want to win this World Cup, it would have been USA, England, Argentina. So, I don't like them very much. But anyway. Alright, here come Cronulla. Back in field there. Potentially high contact there on Billy Burns. We're going to get a penalty here to the Cronulla Sharks. On the very last, it's saved to try potentially, but it invites Cronulla back for another 6 tackles. Storm on top, I do remember that. I do remember funny joke number. And it's funny because when I was a kid, we had a different funny joke number that actually had this thing called meaning. And the whole meme around your generation's funny joke number is proof that on the internet, nothing matters. Anything can go big. It doesn't need to be like a thing. It doesn't need to have any value or meaning whatsoever. So anyway. Conceding a penalty to stop Cronulla from scoring. What is this haram ball Newcastle is winning? Well, they're not winning. But could you say potentially professional foul? Anyway, ball goes over the touchline. No, Couture goes over the touchline. But anyway, Newcastle have recovered it. That's really good defense there for Newcastle. That's a win for them in this moment. That little exchange over these past few sets, Newcastle have absolutely come away with this with a win. Thank you, Worst Crass, very much for following. That sounds like a very German name. Okay. So, funny story, yeah? We had a trivia event today, right? It was a team bonding thing. It was great. My team won. Anyway, there was a quiz. From what language do we get the word yacht? And I wasn't completely sure. I was like, maybe French. It sounds kind of yacht. It sounds like a bit of a French sounding thing. Anyway, one of the members on my team was like German, and I was like, I don't really feel German as being the one. But anyway, a lot of other people liked it, and I was like, sure, we'll let German be it. So we get to the end of the round, we swap papers with a different team, we're marking their paper, and they wrote Dutch, and I was like, it's not Dutch. It's not, like, I'm sorry, it's not Dutch. I'm fluent in Dutch, it's not Dutch. And I said, if it's Dutch, I'm going to get up and walk out of this room, because it's not Dutch. The word yacht is not a Dutch word. I know the word for yacht in Dutch. No. And it was Dutch. Now, in my defense, the word for yacht in Dutch is not yacht. We get the word yacht from the Dutch word jacht, which means hunt. How was I going to know that? I know the word yacht, obviously, but how was I going to be like, oh yeah, there's this word in Dutch that means something completely different that sounds kind of similar, so that's definitely the one. How did we go from hunt to seal? I don't know. I don't know. Were you laughing when you said you grew up in the Netherlands? Bro, evidently. Evidently. Knock on there, Newcastle. I was so embarrassed. I was frustrated. I was annoyed. Kind of redeemed it though in the music round when we had no idea what a particular song was sung by, and I was like, that guy kind of sounds like Phil Collins, and it was Phil Collins. So yeah, anyway, I might not have grown up in the Netherlands, but I kind of vaguely know what Phil Collins sounds like, so that's a win. The people who had the largest sailing company ever didn't invent the word yacht. Yeah, right. You know what? Okay, good point. But they weren't going around on yachts, were they? At the same time, like they didn't invent the word sailboat. So,
Well, that's why you get the big bucks, baby. That's why you get the big bucks.
Is it weird that you used to hear big raps on kids coming through juniors plus see them playing 20s or first grade once finals is gone? These days you just hear the raps.
I want to say, Mario, dude, that's another... How much was that? That's another $15. Of everybody in this chat that supports me and my content and the work that I do, and certainly these live streams, I think you're right up there, mate. You are putting your money where your mouth is, and I really, really appreciate you doing that. I don't know the words I can use to make up for the money you've paid me today, but I thank you for it. I will answer the question. Cronulla on the attack, and they knock on right there at the end. We got a whistle, though, for a penalty. Now, I wonder if they'll be tempted to take the 2. I think I would. I think I would go up by 6. Newcastle have had some defending to do. Anyway, the question was, is it weird you used to hear big rap song kids coming through juniors, plus see them playing 20s or first grade once finals is gone? These days you just hear the raps. I don't really know that to be true. I guess I've never been overly in tune with like who's coming through. I like listening to the content of, say, Rugby League Guru, who's very across it, or there's a good Instagram page called The Short Ball, who's very across it. But aside from that, I don't really do my own research into it. So it's not something that I've experienced, but I can take your word for it. Pepsi, I want some. Unfortunately, I can't just give it to you. That ain't how it works. They're going to take the 2 here. If you could reverse the result of one match this World Cup, which would you pick? That's a really interesting question. Australia beating America.
Hey, Leaguie, someone just redeemed a thing.
Catanelabog just redeemed changed the background color. Licht blau for Messi and soccer Spain.
I don't know what soccer Spain is. The soccer Korea? Or team. Anyway, light blue it is. That's an Argentinian blue. What was the question? Oh, yeah, the juniors coming through thing. As Cronulla do convert, well, not convert, they score a penalty goal there. So they do lead by a converted try. I think that's the right call. No, I was thinking of reversing the result of the One World Cup match. That would have been funny just because of Grella, that presenter. But, well, I would have answered it differently earlier in the week. Before England lost, I would have absolutely said I wanted Congo to beat England. But anyway. The Chadwick, by the way, one of the great rugby league YouTubers, they're at Shark Park. Oh, in Afrikaans, it's soccer Spain instead of football team. Fair enough. I do know what football team means. So there we go. Since you predicted the Roosters versus Eels correct, then predict Storm versus Roosters. Well, here's the thing. Here's a bit of insight. You know how I'm not a big gambling dude. I'm a very, very big believer of quitting while one is ahead. And I predicted that, and I feel I need to retire now. It's like my Fortnite career. I played one game of Fortnite many, many years ago. I won. I never played again. I have a 100% winning record on Fortnite. So, no, I will. I think Roosters... I think we'll go well tonight. Not incredibly well. I think Roosters 32, Melbourne... 16. 32-16 feels about right. That's out on the full. Doesn't matter that Ponga knocked it on. It's out on the full. So, with 3.5, not even 3.5, with 3 minutes to go, geez, there wasn't much in that, but Kalyn Ponga, he did not need to touch it at all, but regardless. Newcastle have brilliant field position here. Trailing by 6, they could go into the sheds, level pegging for sure. Why is Newcastle playing some genuine haram ball? It's funny because it's really difficult to do that in rugby league. You have the ball, you have about 50% of possession. It's hard to play defensively. You can play offensively, I think, and you can play conservatively in attack, but you can't really play defensively. You can't sit back and wait for the opposition, really. That's kind of what's happening. All right, OzNZ League says, I love your channel. I'm a long-time watcher. Is there any chance you could sub to my channel or give a shout-out? Well, there's the shout-out. OzNZ League content, absolutely. And yeah, I'll have a look. For sure, I can do that. Just subscribed. Oh, wait, I subscribed to my gaming channel. Whoops. Anyway, 6 more here for Newcastle. You get a subscription for both of mine. Here come the Newcastle Knights. 6 more it was. This is the 0 tackle, and they are but meters from the try line. Played there. Crossland is going to be the man in that dummy half. Now a run there from... Is that Crouch? I think it's big Lockie Crouch. Who I really like. Is it Lockie Crouch? No, it's not. Is it? No, it is. I like him because I liked Peter Crouch when I was growing up. Anyway... Sharp. Nice ball there, Dylan Lucas. Try. Easy. He knocked on earlier. He wasn't going to knock that one on. And Fletcher Sharp. Sharp as a tack in a tack. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Newcastle Knights. Yeah, Sheetar. Roosters 24-12 Storm. That sounds about right to me as well. It's so good that Newcastle now have a tactic that isn't pass up Ponga and inshallah. Yeah. That's basically what we were saying all through last year, though, right? That Dylan Brown being there, for better or worse, was going to give them an additional option. You can't just, when you're playing the Knights, target Kalyn Ponga and expect that it's going to, you know, absolutely suffocate the rest of the team. What I didn't see coming was Fletcher Sharp as much. He was a guy who was like a bit of a fullback. He was playing on the wing every now and then. I didn't think he'd become one of the most potent attacking 5'8s that we have in the league. So we love it. Love it.
Well, that's why you get the big bucks, baby. That's why you get the big bucks.
Both Newcastle winger have amazing hairstyles.
Well, Mario, I mean, you'd be able to afford a hairstyle like that as well if you didn't keep giving me all of your money. Just go to a barber, bro. But yes, I agree. Particularly Dominic. I love the dreadlocks. Again, it's just marketable. It's marketable. I look at it from that perspective. Thoughts on Tommy Starling's 150th game tomorrow? Geez, it's been around a while then. No, I wouldn't have guessed. I would have guessed he's maybe around 100. That's a lot. Kick there from Ponga. Has it just snuck in? No, it hasn't. It's gone across the face. So on the stroke of halftime, it remains 14 points to 12. Anybody's game. This one is tight. We've got a really, really great second half coming up. And really, I think it's anyone's guess as to who's going to win from here. That's tricky. Ponga's way off tonight. I mean, is he having his best night? No, not exactly, but that kick doesn't necessarily mean his way off. Halftime it is. Right. Haven't exactly got a plan as to what we're going to get into here at halftime, but yesterday we did a couple of different things that weren't the 27-0 game, and I still have not gone 27-0, and I still want to go 27-0, and so therefore we are going to go 27-0. That's the plan. We'll switch back to the green background because we need it for luck. Granted, like, I've not really had the same number of attempts as a lot of other people who still haven't gone 27-0, but I believe... I've got to reformat that. Every different web page has different dimensions. I apologize. It's not my fault. It's the fault of the internet. I didn't do it. Don't sue me. Sue Google, maybe. Ew, 27-0 is such a drag now. Is it? Has it become uncool? Have I kind of missed out on that? I don't think I've missed out on that. I found a monitor, by the way, in my building recently. I'm going to try and set it up. It will help me massively. It will make absolutely zero difference to you. But it would absolutely augment my streams beyond comprehension. Hell yes, Nathan Cleary. Get him in my team. Where is he? Where is he? So I'm Mbappe's puppy for all 9-1 after a 3-1 win at the Bernabeu. Waiting on results will either play Bayern or Barcelona. One of the great sporting stories unfolding in that career mode right now. No way.
C_Phantom just redeemed timeout somebody else. Mute Lorenzo for the slender of 27 and go.
You know what? It's actually kind of embarrassing that I didn't just do that immediately. Because, hell yeah. Hell yes. Sorry, Lorenzo, that's 10 in the bin for yourself. That's 10 in the bin for yourself. Balmain Tigers, 1999. That is absolutely a reroll, right? Sometimes when it's Western Suburbs, you can get Brett Hodgson, but yeah, ain't no one there. Oh, Cronulla 2024. This isn't outstanding. We've got some stinky rolls, I will say. Very stinky rolls. I don't like any of these. I don't like any of these. Can I have none? I want none. Mulatalo. It's only 81. My God. I thought it'd be a bit better than that. I'm fully aware, by the way, that Lorenzo is not the best player at Cronulla that season, but I didn't want to use up any of the other positions. Knights 2017. I don't think I've got worse roles than this ever. This is not what you want. This is far from ideal. Did I say Lorenzo? I saw Mulatalo and I was like, Lorenzo Mulatalo. Yeah, his brother. Is that his name? Or was that... No, am I thinking of... Was there a different... I swear there was... Lorenzo... Yeah, Lorenzo Mulatalo. Whoops. It's Ronaldo Mulatalo. I'm aware of that. Panthers 2016. This is insane. I guess Fisher Harris, but my God, this is smelly. Oh, Yo. No, Yo at lock. That's good. What is this? It's 27-0. 27-0. Okay, I'm straight up just redoing this. I'm sorry, but Drag... Oh, no, Drag is 99. It's all right. It's all right. I remember it as being worse. You can get Fitzy. Is solid. But I'm looking for those centers. Or were they not around then? Fine, Fitzy. We need some absolute clutch in those positions. Roosters 2017. Latrell. Oh, Latrell's there. Latrell's there. That's fine. I think it's going to be Latrell. Just make sure no one else. Yeah. I was like, that was the in-between season, really. 2016 was. Anyway. Was 2021. Dallin? I don't want any of them. Sean Johnson, 5'8", I guess, but I don't want him. How good is Reece Walsh in this? I'm going to... Yeah, he's 87. It's fine. It's fine. Probably should have gone with 5'8", but anyway. Tigers 2022. Nah, on God, it's never been worse than this. It's actually never been worse than this. This is impressively bad. I don't know what... We've had Dolphins, Titans, West Tigers, Newcastle 2017, Roosters 2016, managed to get Latrell out of that, thank God. Sharks, damn, Broncos 2021. Okay, we get Darren Lockyer. Did I say 2021? 2001. We get Darren Lockyer. That's a banger of a Haas pairing. Eels 23. Great. Sevo, I suppose. Those are two of the worst wingers ever. Cameron Smith would save this. Sick. Oh my God. I don't know any of these men. Horsnell's a funny name, and that just isn't. So, yeah, great. 69 overall. Sweet. We went 4-0 with that team. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. What the hell? That's better than, like, actually decent teams that I've put together in the past as well. My days. So, George Dragons fan, why are you just rattling off random names? I kind of love that from you, but why? Wiki's very good. 88. Bang. Hey, like, man, sorry I haven't been here for the first half. Just got back from the casino. Firstly, no dramas for not being here in the first half. Absolutely zero harm done. But back from the casino. Admittedly, I went to the casino a couple months ago. Yeah, about a month ago. It's fun to go with some friends and then not spend any money. Leaguie, thoughts on the news? The team wearing blue will win. Well, yeah. The question is which? The question is which? Titans 2018. Oh, was that Jared Hayne? Tell me that Hayne was there. Oh, Jairo, even better. Even better. This is a good start. That's not great, though. No, J-Moz is fine. J-Moz is fine. Just making sure there's no one else. Andrew Fafita. No, I'll take J-Moz. Just. Who do you think's winning tonight? I got Storm. I'm a Roosters fan. So, definitely don't have the Storm. But I can see why you might. They are so motivated and they always scare me. 2 Mozes there. I don't think I've ever had that. That's omenry. That's very good omenry. Dragons 2023 may well be a reroll. May well be a reroll. Because I'm going to be real. None of these men are standing out. Yeah. Thoughts on the right to protest? I think that we should protest for it. It's got to be Tino. Got to be Tino, yeah? Isaiah's on Fox. That's cool. Unless the Sharks outside back gets injured, it's between Beryl and Tuku Hautapua for the last interchange tonight. Okay. Statistically, it's going to be Tukes. It's going to be the big howl. But one can hope. One can most certainly hope. Big Heath Lestrange, you reckon? Don't know how good... actually, no. Minicello wing. This is good. That back three. Some legendary Roosters there.
I just did a live stream and it went good.
That's so cool. I'm really happy to hear that. What did you do on the live stream? Was it a watch-along like this one? Or what sorts of different things did you do? Highlander says, how are the Knights playing? I tipped them. Not great, really. Another side were at their best. It's a very tightly contested game. They gave away a lot of penalties and set restarts, inviting Cronulla into attacking ball. And I think probably Cronulla should be leading by more. It was a late try on the stroke half time to Newcastle that's really brought them right back into it. But it's been Cronulla who were better in the first half. So, yeah. J-Moz is fine. Ricky Stewart, 2010s while selecting Blues players. I mean, he was fine, though. He did a job on Greg Inglis sometimes. Mainly 2010. That's unfortunately beyond the great man Menzies, although we had the back row covered anyway. I reckon Chalky Watmo, or Jamie Lyon in the centres. Probably take the opportunity to just lock out that centre spot. I like that back five. Those are all players I really like. Roosters 2021. Adam Kieran, surely 5'8". Oh. I don't know how good Lindsay Collins is on this. How good's Luke Keary on this? Nah, Jared front row. Happy with that. Sharks 2020. Stop giving me the Sharks. I don't like them. Could have used Andrew Fafita there and then gone Luke Keary. That's really annoying. I don't like them. I don't like having them. Is that... So, okay, there's a mistake here. Sione Katoa is listed as a winger and hooker. I think that's because there's 2 Sione Katoas. The other Sione Katoa, I don't think he ever played for Cronulla. SJ 5'8". He's 89. You know, that might have been better than Kiri anyway. Roosters 04. Oh, no. Oh, no, I could have... Oh, no, I can't pick Fred. I can't pick Freddie. Right? Yeah, lock. Okay, a good halfback and a... Oh, I saw Newcastle after I said a good halfback. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be it. Yeah, Bedsy was retired then. This had potential if we got a really good halfback and really good hooker. Jared Mullen. Oh, no. And... John Morris... James Webster, PJ Marshall, Lee Hopkins, John Morris. Oh my God, that had a skeleton of a team, and then just no longer did. I'm going to see if I got one more in me. Bill Fraser's finally back in the Storm Flex squad, though listed in the reserves. On God, do not remember who that is. So, yeah. How do I... yes, skip. Okay, cool. Dean shall never donate again after that comment. I don't remember what I said, but anyway. Name a player for an edit. Please, bro, I need this. My mum is kind of homeless. That's funny. Don't spam, though, Lockie. Please don't spam. If I don't see it at first, send it once more again, and I'll see it. But you want to play for an edit? Robert Toyer. Robert Toyer. But yeah, if you spam again, unfortunately, I'll have to time you out. So please don't. Dogs 2021. That I'm not even spending a reroll. I'ma just go again. Bill Fraser used to play with my brother. There we go. I believe you mentioned that before. Steelers 1998. Interesting. I like these ones. I like the clubs that no longer exist. It's going to be Fitzy, though. Yeah, it's going to be Fitzy. I understand, certainly, did Leaguie swears obsession with Jane and Beryl. Where did that come from with St. George Dragons fan? Was it just following her in? Which I do respect that. I do really respect that. I learned an incredible piece of like, remarkable rugby league history the other day about Scott Sattler and that tackle in the 03 grand final. But I don't think I could adequately do it justice without use of a visual aid, which I obviously cannot provide. So I think I might make a short on it. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because it's that good, you actually won't want it spoiled. They're running back out onto the field. Kieran 4 and 5/8. If I can speed run through it. 4 and 5/8 actually isn't as good as I remembered. Hayne Wing. Okay. Storm 2010. Okay. Okay. Knights 04. Okay. Manly 03. Okay. Oh no, we already used up the back row. Less okay than you'd want. But still, okay. Sure. Chalk. Not bad. Eels 03. Oh, I can't use Hindy. Lions alright. Lions alright. Eels 2026. Okay, curtains, we're finished. No. Forget it. Oh, Attica. Okay. Okay, too many Parramatta Eels in this, certainly. Bears 1998. Penny, I can bring him in. Absolutely bring him in. That's a reroll. I know that they're kicking off, but I just really want to finish this because it's actually gone kind of well. Fish. There. Bang. I'm speedrunning it. Cowboys 02. That's a solid fullback there. That is a solid fullback there. And Matty Bowen. Matty Bowen arrow. We need a center and we need a prop. Tino. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Center. Come on. Wires 2023. That's not good. No. Yeah. Montoya. Okay. Yeah. I don't even know what we did. 21 and 6. Sick. Okay, anyway, we're back. That had potential and it got squandered, but you know what? Not my fault. Penalty Sharks, which has really been the entire theme of the first half. Jaden Barrow's Marla is so beautiful. That is why I love him. That is valid. That is valid. I can't disagree with that. That's acceptable for sure. Have you visited Wellington? If you haven't, can you visit? Not only have I not visited Wellington, but I have not been across the ditch to New Zealand. Keen to. But currently, not planning to. Certainly. See Phantom redeemed to time me out when is a mod and can do it channel point free. Yeah, but then, you know, I'd be very upset. Knock on there, Britain Nikora. He's not going to be happy with that. I'm not going to be happy at all. You're a bit behind me for some reason. I tend to be. The clock says 38:35 right now, if you want to sync up with me. Or did you mean Wellington, New South Wales? For context of the casino, I got $30 profit off the roulette table. That's very lucky. I would not encourage others to do the same. All right. Lorenzo says best scored, and I find that unlikely, given where Newcastle currently are on the field. But anyway, we'll see, I suppose. Ball goes out to find Dominic Young. Am I like super duper behind? I'm not super duper behind, am I? It says I'm at live. Crossing in that dummy half here. Plays it. Going to the left-hand side now. Bradman Best. It's not Bradman Best. Sorry, still on Lucas with it. JK Lol. Yeah, okay. Nice. Nice. I think this could go to Golden Point. It certainly could go to Golden Point. Absolutely could go to Golden Point. That's the kind of game we're looking at here. Nice work there. Kalen Ponga gets out to Dan Gagai, who had Dominic Young outside him. And that's kind of the moments where you should use Dominic Young if he's there. Gagai chose not to. Far from it. I never get the wording right. Far from me would it be? Is that it? To question the center expertise of Dan Gagai, though. Does Coca have the big C? Thankfully, no. My friend lives in Wellington, New South Wales, and played for the club that Stags, Naden, and Blake Fallinson played juniors. Yeah, that's dying out. I still... There's a dude called Battlers for Bush Footy who I've only now just remembered. I keep blowing him off about making a video about country footy. It doesn't end up happening, but I really want to get him on. There's just 3 or 4 really big things that I want to make videos on right now, and then a background sort of strategy of making videos about International Rugby League. And after a week that has been wall to wall, I have a weekend coming up that is wall to wall. Not ideal, but I should be able to get to some content next week. But my last video was Blues winning Origin, and that was a ramble. So anyway, knock on there, Wilton. It's really being poor ball handling tonight for 2, good teams. Talent is great. Talent is great. It's very great. Brandon Laurie says, who would your dream signing be for the Roosters? On most days, Nathan Cleary, because this is the greatest ever. But given that Payne Haas has signed with South Sydney, I'd want to get Payne Haas purely to spite them. True story. And we've got Sammy Walker, so. Didn't I start the Tom Hazelton trend very early on? I don't believe so. I've got one of my very early videos. It was when I did a series called LTW, League This Week. And I mentioned in that, Tommy Hazelton, he scored a try late in the game. And I said that he angled his bald head downwards and the light from the floodlights reflected off his head into the eyes of the defending players and he waltzed through and scored a try. In my mind, that's when the Leaguie Tom Hazelton meme started. So, yeah. Lockie says, is Nwanga Nitawase leaving the Roosters? Unfortunately, yes. At the end of the year. Anyway, Knights on halfway here. Dylan Brown across to find Phoenix Crossland, who wasn't in dummy half there. Dominic Young was. Bring back LTW. Nope. Too much work. Way too much work. Crossland. Now, across to find Sharp. Is that a knock on, or are they going to rule that it's been backwards? No, it's going to be ruled backwards, and I kind of agree with that. I think it was. Crossland now. Going to get it to Dylan Brown, who will kick from inside his own half. And he really wasted those last 3 plays there. One of the main things I don't like about doing LTW as well is that I don't like having an upload schedule at all. It doesn't work for me. I make videos, and when they're ready to go, I will publish them. I don't want to be like, oh, I need to, publish LTW by Monday, otherwise it's going to lose relevance. So, in rugby, who will win, Waikato or Bay of Plenty? I know so little about rugby that I'm not even confident that Bay of Plenty is a real team. You could be lying to me and I wouldn't know. I've heard of Waikato, have not heard of Bay of Plenty. You're almost a set behind me. Am I almost a set behind everyone? This is the last year. Cronulla will kick. I'm gonna close my app and open it again. Again, I do apologize. It's not my fault. It's Foxtel's fault for their app being so egregiously behind. But a set behind is a lot more than it usually is. Penalty there, Newcastle. Clock currently says 34:00. If you want to sync with me. Sorry, I keep changing. Sorry, it's not a penalty, Sharks. It's a penalty, Newcastle. Would you rather trade Daniel Tupou for Alex Johnson or trade Sam Walker for Tom Dearden? Sam Walker for Tom Dearden. I love Sam Walker, but Daniel Tupou in a South jersey, no. AJ in a Roosters jersey, also no. I wouldn't want to give Walker away for Tom Dearden. If I had that opportunity, I would keep Sam Walker. But no. I'm watching the stream on YouTube. Can kick me out of the stream. I want to see what it looks like. You want to be timed out? I can time you out. I'll time you out for a minute. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Mine said 33:22 when you said that. That's crazy. That's 40 seconds. Damn. Well, I'm as up to date as I could be, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to pause and sync up with me to that point, it says 33:00 now. So, that's all I can really do. Anyway, Crossland, now to find Dylan Brown. Short ball, beautiful to Francis Manu-Leilua, who's done well there. So this will be the last. They're 20 meters out here, the Newcastle Knights. They get it to Dylan Brown, who puts it high up in the air, being chased there by the left-hand attackers. Good catch from Fletcher Sharp. Ball finds the ground, and Che Mooney slid over, and the Cronulla Sharks recover it. Good little gain as well from Britton Nicker after picking up that ball. We'll trade you Walker for one only. Which one? Leaguie 1-31, I'm stealing has his job. Fair enough. Damn, no jobs are safe in this economy. 6 more there for the Cronulla Sharks. Give me 12. Oh, sorry. We'll trade you Walker for only one slightly used Matt Lodge. Well, we used to have a slightly used Matt Lodge. So, nah. Keepsies, unfortunately, for you lot. Bay of Plenty is a region in the North Island of NZ. The cities/towns there are Tauranga, Opotiki, and Wakatane. The BOP is the home region of none other than Benji Marshall. There we go. That's cool. That's very cool. Hines, short ball there. Gets it to Britton Nickera. Well, Hatsman, I also give you 12. Fastest wins. Hines with it. This is the last. They get it to Braden Trindle. Ball over the top. Oh, what a pill. Oh, that's absolutely shelling peas. And Cronulla extend their lead. Mulatalo, inevitable. But Trindle, what a year he is having. That's one of the best moments he's had all season. Would you rather trade Nafahu White for Kobe Black, Nathan Brown, or Blake Green? Only one color worn here. Why do the Sharks have that jersey? Well, Lily, I'm happy to let you know specifically that it is women in league round, which is cool. So that's why they've got a jersey that's got a bit of pink infused with it. I've said this before. We used to see a lot more teams get on board with it and change different designs for women in league round. But it's nice to see the Sharks doing it. Very nice. You butchered the pronunciation? I'm sorry, I tried. Did I really? Tauranga, Opotiki, and Wakatane? Anyway, I don't know, but I tried. Would you trade Walker for Cleary? Yes, I would trade Walker for Cleary. I think he's the only halfback I would trade for, though. Wouldn't trade him for Moses. Wouldn't trade him for Hughes. Age being a factor here. Yeah, I think it would literally just be Nathan Cleary. I remember they always reference Benji's birthplace on the footy show so they could get away with saying Wok. What, is there something funny about that word? Anyway, Hines kick it right from the sideline here to lead by 8, which is my favourite lead in rugby league. Reece Walsh and Nathan Cleary. Cleary's a better player, for sure. Kick there from Hines. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Starts out to the right. He loves it as he looks to the crowd, and they do lead by 8 points. Opotiki. Hopefully that's better. So what did I say? Opotiki, I think is what I said. So it's more tiki than tiki. Well, there we go. What do you think of the Broncos thinking of putting Reece Walsh to halfback? We saw Darren Lockyer do it when he moved to 5'8". He plays such a dominant role anyway. Like I think if you can... This is the thing. This is what I always say. If Jerome Hughes can do it, yeah, Reece Walsh could do it. Absolutely. Reece Walsh is a hell of a lot of a better fullback and better player than Jerome Hughes was when he became a halfback. But I think that Hughes is the exception, not the rule. And so I'm not going to put it past Reece Walsh. I think maybe it'd make a better 5'8" than halfback. But yeah. I will forever hold the opinion that Walsh is overrated despite the fact that he basically won us the Prem last year. I don't necessarily disagree. Oh, the W is pronounced like F. Bo knows it all the time. I see. Would you trade Robson for Grant and Walker for Cleary if it meant you had to give South Robert Toya? Damn, that's interesting. That's a screen grab, by the way, while I went. Yes. We're not signing Robert Toya tonight. I think I would. All right, kick there from Hines on the last. We've got inside half an hour left to go in this game. I tell you what, this one's going slowly. I don't know if it's the excitement that I have to watch the Roosters play, but this game, yesterday went so quick. This one, I'm like, oh my God, there's still half an hour to go. Wow. Lancaster says, leave Walsh at 1 for now. He could be a 7, but the hybrid role is working. Walsh will one day end up in the halves, but not yet. I'm not as confident that he will one day end up in the halves. I think he could. But also, like, I think that moving forward, Brisbane are going to have Pezzett. They're going to have Duffy. They're going to have Mam. They've got a lot more halves than they do fullbacks. So I don't know if they'll necessarily be in need. But anyway. Time me out at 51:53. Okay. On my clock? Sure. I'll do that. Although it's jumping around a lot. Do you remember the time Walsh did a forward pass in the 2023 semi-final which ruined the Warriors grand final hopes? I do. I don't think Warriors would have made the grand final anyway, but I do. Sorry, no, that was a prelim, wasn't it? They would have made the grand final. Yeah. Was it? Or was it week 2? Was it week 2 or week 3? Anyway, what I should say is I don't think they were going to win the premiership. But anyway, great run there from Wawani Hiroti. You got round 22-02. Sharks won 64-14 at Shark Park. My God, that is a lot of names that I don't know. I know David Peachy and I know Brett Kamali. Don't know Reek McKenna Treester. I know Kurt Gidley. I'm assuming that's Andrew John, Samanatahu. All scoring in that game. But wow, crazy. All right, here we go. Kick up over the top there for Tricky Trindle. Ponga's underneath it, and it's a pretty easy catch. He's putting his legs up in the air. He's been doing it since Origin 1. Anyway, I'm not a big fan of that. Oh, Young's going to try and go around them. Nan does absolutely nothing instead. Yeah, Hazman, I'll only engage you from now on. I'll only engage you from now on. He did beat you. He did beat you. To it. Yeah, I already timed you out, Randall for 1 minute. Hiroti Titans are signing people have forgotten about. Yes, they have. And I do not blame them because it is one of the signings that I have seen in my lifetime. That is for sure. There's not a lot happening there. Not a lot happening there. Week 3, but the Broncos won by a huge margin anyway. Yeah, okay. So there we go. But, yeah, my main point was they weren't going to win the comp, I don't think. So, Sharks here, they're absolutely winning the field position battle. They're pretty much starting to set on the halfway line. With the way that the points have been scored so far in this game, I think if Sharks score one more, get to 26-12, I think 26 will be a winning score. I think it will be. Best and worst current haircuts in the NRL. Best, Dominic Young. Like a bit of Fletcher Sharp. Oh, Tuku Hautapu is on. Rest in peace, barrel enthusiasts. Rest in pepperoni pieces. I like Mark Moynihan to ask his haircut, by the way, as well. Very unique. Worst haircut? I don't know. Give me some recommendations. Hines puts it up in the air. Being chased hard there by Katoa, but Ponga right up through the air. Good catch there. Are you setting up chair stream for tomorrow? I'm actually still undecided. It's basically going to depend how much energy I have after today. The thing that's kind of making me want to not do it is that I'm going to be leaving very early in the day to watch the Roosters NRLW play. So it'll be on for like 7 or 8 hours before I'm back here, which I'm not overly keen on happening. But anyway, the Leaguie's 2025 NRL Rewind haircut. I liked that haircut. It was good. The bowl cut. It was the day before I got it cut as well. Jack Underhill, I don't think has that terrible hair anymore though. He had very bad hair last year. DWZ has the best hair. I won't disagree with that. You know what? Angus Crichton maybe, you know, just with a bald head. Not a big fan of that. Beryl's haircut's the best. Leaguie's head dent is the worst. Yeah, it's not good, is it? You know what's funny? Like, because that's not a dent in my head. That's a dent in my head. But I do have a dent in my head around the back. I've always had it. I've definitely said this before. But until I was like 18, I thought that the human skull was asymmetrical. Because on this side of my head, I have a dent right in that top corner. Other side's perfectly round, as a normal skull is. But this side, I got the Grand Canyon there. And I just assumed, because I was only feeling my own skull, I just assumed that that's the way things were. Alright. Played here by Cronulla. This will be the last. They're 20 meters out. Braley dummied one way, went the other. Trindle puts it up in the air. He's sort of chasing through himself. Ponga catches it, and I think there's going to be a penalty here to Cronulla. Yeah, Mulatalo celebrating it. Young's not happy. He very much got up in Dominic Young's face there, Renato Mulatalo. I agree with the call. I think that the run was impeded. Do you prefer no DCE and Savala in 6 or DCE at 6 and Savala in centre? Certainly DCE at 6 and Savala at centre. I think DCE's been very good. I think it's been very good. Hasman, I hope you're not genuinely frustrated. If so, I mean, I'm sure Tiger didn't mean anything bad by it. So, have you discovered Pencilhead Crichton's spam account yet? God, yes, I have. I've been commenting a lot on that thing. I commented the other day saying your back rower doesn't even post LeBron edits. And he liked that, which is good. Anyway, Blake Brayley. Now in the hands of Trindle. Beautiful pass. Iro does well to catch it, though. In the air, it was a bit out in front of him, actually. Anyway, played it here. Brayley going to the right-hand side there. In the hands of Oregon Kofusi, I must say. I thought it was jersey number 10, but that's whole last Tom Hazelton. So, no, could have been Tuka Outspiller, actually. Anyway, played there by Hiroti. This is the last. Kennedy gets it to Nico Hines, juggles, and he loses that, and it's gone forward. Poor error there. Poor error. Harrison Graves getting a bit up in his face. There was a chance there. They got the ball out wide. Very good opportunity for a try. But that is a knock-on. Shot score here and it might be over? Absolutely. Absolutely. Could have been. Not over. Oh, not over. Not over. I don't agree with that. But 14 points to the margin, 22 to go. Likely over. Shital says, do you know me? Because I was there in Storm versus Seagulls and Cowboys versus Panthers. I remember your username. I do recognize your username. For sure. Yeah, all good. Thanks, Tiger, for leaving that Tasman from now on. What are your thoughts about Spain and Argentina being in the World Cup final? I mentioned it earlier, so I'll just say very briefly. All I cared about was England not being there. I'd like Spain to win. I really do like Spain as a country, culturally, and I learnt Spanish back in high school, so I learned a lot about the country, but I don't really mind too deeply either way. I'm not going to be annoyed if Argentina win in the way that most are. 21 and a half minutes left in this game. Kicked there on the last by Newcastle. Bounces. I think that's been knocked on by Newcastle, and then it dies in the hands of Braden Trindle. Hines picks it up at dummy half, giving it to Renato Militalo. You just feel that the Sharks are in command at this point, I reckon, which has been a really, really good pass mark for them. Obviously, they've got to secure the win, but I saw a Knights fan saying earlier, this is the kind of game that they relish the opportunity because they're talking about his Knights and looking forward to it personally from a fan's perspective. He wanted to see his Knights team tested against genuine high-quality opposition and see how they go. See if it's a litmus test coming into the back end of the season. Are they maybe kind of flat-track bullies? And the way that this game has gone might indicate a little bit that that could be the case. Have you been to Spain? I have been to Spain. At least twice. I think twice. Matt Taylor says, I absolutely can't stand Argentina. A lot of people are of that opinion. So, yeah. Will Mauritius win the 2030 FIFA World Cup? No. Highly unlikely, unfortunately. We've never made a World Cup. Of, I think, any sport probably ever. So, Sheetal saying, rest in peace, Hayden Adams. I've just looked up who Hayden Adams is. I don't know who you're referring to. Apparently there's a CEO called Hayden Adams who's not dead. Or Jaden Adams. Who's that? Anyway. Oh, South African soccer player. That's a shame. Damn, only 25 years old as well. Died at 25. That is not what you want. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Always hate it when an athlete, you know, goes early. We've seen it happen a decent amount. Certainly. Certainly. So played there by Will Kennedy. On now to find Braden Trindle. Short ball. And there's going to be a tackle there by Bradman Best. They do very well. And Fletcher Sharp as well. So one more to go here in this set. Kick it behind. And it looks like it's going to force a goal line dropout. Yes, it does. Kalen Ponga grounding that in the in goal. When he told people the Butcher Brothers smell like meat, I posted a screenshot of the Roosters bench of Lamb, Butcher, and Baker. Said the bench still makes me hungry and got 1,000 likes. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love that bench. It's so funny. So funny. Australia's Socceroos to win the 2030 FIFA World Cup. I reckon we might just need to settle for Rugby League World Cups for the time being. But we'll see. Geordie Boss, can he be that generationally good player? No. But anyway. I think it's knock on Cronulla there, simply. Yeah, that's going to be the ruling. I wonder if we might see a challenge pulled out here with 18.5 to go, but I don't think they'd win it. Do you think Horsburgh will go to Broncos? People don't really want to leave the Raiders once they get to the Raiders. We will see a challenge here. I just fat-fingered H and G. It's not a goal. It's a challenge. So, Captain's challenge here. What? Wait, it's from Newcastle? I apologize. Apparently, it's a Knights challenge. I assumed that it was ruled in favor of the Knights. So they're playing on here. What do you think of NRL referee Ashley Klein? Very talented, incredibly overhated, but not looked after by the NRL, really. So the knock-on, what they're looking at what's happened here. Are they going to rule that it's back from Newcastle initially? And then Harrison Graham, I think he's still surely knocked that back. Anyway. Got my kids' life savings on Ponga. Am I cooked? Anytime try scorer? Maybe. Probably. Yes. I think it is. Yeah. They'll win that challenge. I thought... See, I assume that's how they ruled it the first time. So I was like, maybe Cronulla will challenge. I don't think that they'll win. Instead, it went the other way. So, definitely worth a challenge. And a very good win from them. Who is Keith Titmus? He was a former Manly player who unfortunately died. He was a fringe first grader. Very close friends with Josh Schuster. Schuster is very much motivated by his friendship with Keith Titmus. Still to this day. People don't want to leave the Raiders once they get here unless they are British or Jack Whiten. That's the other instance in which people want to leave. But yeah, it is funny because I said this a number of times before. As much as they struggled to get players to Canberra, once they get them here, they can keep them here very well. Knock on there, Newcastle. And the Sharks are up and about there. No, we've got a whistle here. No, they're just making sure that they don't get too into it. Herhe Papuru is celebrating that one. Damn. Yeah, it was Bradman Bass as well. This game's just getting away from Newcastle. It's really getting away from Newcastle, and poor errors have cost them wildly. Sepsi OSK have made my list. Ruined an immortal season run with a sneaky goal in additional minutes, and they hurt Thomas Muller, so he's out for Champions League. No, not Muller. I didn't even know Sepsi OSK were a real team. Shout out Sepsi Max though. Much bigger fan of them. If Knights win, you have to live stream Raiders game and Warriors game. Unfortunately, I can't because I'm going to be at the Raiders game, so it's not simply not an option. If I could stream them, I would. Penalty there, Cronulla. Soak up a bit more of the clock. Take the 2, lead by 10. I don't like leading by 10. I don't like going from 8 to 10, but I wonder if they'll be tempted to. No, they're just going to keep going. Nice. I like that. Best is such an Origin merchant. That's all right. You could be an Origin merchant and make a brilliant career out of that. What do you think the score prediction will be for Saturday? If we're talking about Raiders and Rabbitohs, I think that's the game of the round. Maybe this one. But they're super close games. Super close games. Heights. Now to find Britain Nickera, and there's a knock-on in there. I play Foreman. Says, how do you get selected for Origin if you're an Origin merchant? I take your point, but then again, I do think he was picked for Game 3 because of what he has done in Origin in the past. So I guess, like, you know, how did he first get picked? Sure. Same thing as Guy. I don't know, I think that's a bit overblown. Like, back in the day, yes, but he hasn't really played a whole lot of Origin over the last 5 or so years, and still a very good center. Who's your top 8? Panthers, Roosters, Warriors, Dolphins, Cronulla. Probably at this point, I'm getting a bit more behind Souths, Newcastle, and Cowboys, I think. Assuming I'm not forgetting anyone. But there's going to be some runs, I think, towards the back end of this season. Just saying. 15 minutes left in this one. Well, 15 and a half-ish. Manly. Did I say Manly? I don't think I said Manly. But no, I don't know. I think the wheels have fallen off ever so slightly there. Again, though, here's what I'll say. Who are you taking out? Souths, you taking out? Maybe. They're 9-7. Seagulls are 9-8. It's not that bad. Yeah, you've got to take someone out of that top 8. If I could pick 10 teams, I'd be picking 10 teams. Ponga, good offload there to find Dylan Brown. Came a little bit too late, unfortunately, and the Sharks defense was able to slide across. Leaguie backing South. He likes South now. I absolutely hope they don't make it, but they keep winning games of rugby league football, so as much as it upsets me. Sharp will kick there. Dominic Young's chasing through. There's a half chance here. Knights everywhere. The bounce, it had to beat Braden Trindle to get a try, but they do force a dropout. That's pretty good stuff. Tigers are going 7-0. Trust. Yeah, sure. That's... Oh, I swore that. I didn't mean to. They're sitting bottom 4. The Tigers are sitting bottom 4. That's crazy. 7-10 and they're bottom 4. That feels unfair. Anyway. Good news, Leaguie. Moses Leo was up for Tuimalatu Brown. I saw that. Whose fantasy scores this year are 1-9, -1, 2-20. Only one of those games was under 80 minutes. Damn. They went short there, the Sharks, but Newcastle recovered. This is a massively important set here. So I'll commentate through this one, certainly. But yeah, I saw that yesterday. Kind of made me a bit excited. Anyway. So, to the left-hand side now. Brown gets it underneath to find Tyson Frizzell. Tackle there. Harrison Graham's in a dummy half. They don't need to score here, but by God, it would help them. Brown on to find Ponga. Nice ball out to find Dominic Young. Oh, for a moment, he thought he could go himself for the corner. Thought better of it, which is definitely the right call. He would not have made it. Bro is not Mark Nwangani Tuase. Anyway, plays it on the fourth. Gagai gets it to Kalen Ponga. Dummies. Eventually does a double pump and gets it out to that left-hand side. They've got numbers out there if they keep going that way. Bramman Best, has he got around Hiroti? He has. Sideline beckoning, gets an offload away. Still alive here. We got a whistle, though. Is it going to be penalty, perchance? No, it's being celebrated there by Cronulla. I think they've recovered the ball. Is it going to be knock on Newcastle? Yes, it is. I don't know. If they can put in a challenge, yeah, and they will. I didn't see a knock on, really. Oh, the ruling was that he went into touch. I guess it's worth a challenge. It's worth a challenge. Cows stop the fuzzball pandemic, just saying. I'm not calling it over yet, but maybe. Yeah, definitely. That frame shows that ball is free, hand still in. So that'll be a successful challenge. That will be a successful challenge. Unless they rule that Sharp has knocked on somewhere there, but I don't think he has. Mutual infringement, Newcastle recover it. So they haven't gained a whole heap. I guess a chance to get a repeat set or maybe a try. Tuimalatu Brad has a fantasy break-even of 113 despite costing 230k. That's insane. That's insane. Wow. Oh my god. No one trade him in. No one trade him in. Alright. 13.5 minutes left to go in this one. 8 points is the margin. Sarah says Sharks. Great contribution. They are one of the teams. Correct. Correct. Brown going to the left-hand side. Graham underneath. To find, was that Thomas Can? I think it is Thomas Can. How many times do you think people have made the joke? Huh? But Thomas Can. Anyway. Kick there from Bass. It's weighted too big. Too big. And the rain is actually coming down decently intensely there at Shark Park. Hopefully that's not a sign that the storm carries through to Allianz. Leaguie, can I sue the police for not arresting my crush for stealing my heart? That's straight up robbery from yourself. So, absolutely. I mean, sue the police? No. Sue the crush? Yes, legally speaking. My top 8 is first Warriors, second Panthers, third Dolphins, fourth Knights, fifth Cowboys, sixth Roosters, seventh Sharks, and eighth Manly. You reckon we'll fall to sixth? Roosters? Really? That really surprises me. I mean, first Warriors is a bold prediction, certainly. They'll be 2 points off Panthers if they win this week. But that surprises me. That surprises me that you got North Queensland finishing above Roosters when we've lost 2 fewer games than them. But anyway. Alright, kick up over the top by Braden Trindle. Underneath it, Ponga's going to go up for it again, and he's been good under the high ball tonight, Kalen Ponga. He's been a very, very good fullback under the high ball today. Good stuff. Yeah, Lily, unfortunately, I can't fix that. It's not just my broadcast being behind, which it is, but by the time it goes through my laptop, uploaded to YouTube, bounces back to you on your computer, it's always going to be a bit behind. But it's 11:40 on my clock at that point. You can sync up with me if you like. Unfortunately, nothing I can do about it. Have tried to fix a number of times. Well, so George Dragons fan, I don't think Roosters win the minor premiership either. I very much think Panthers will, but I think best case scenario, Roosters get second. Personally, I don't think the wheels will continue to fall off for the Penrith Panthers. Kick from Dylan Brown there. Still trailing by 8, and by the time they get the ball back, there's going to be 10 minutes or so to go. Straight through there, Kennedy didn't have any support. Kind of understandable, it was a kick return, but they've started this set in brilliant field position here, the Sharkies. The Roosters must be well over the salary cap. I've been hearing that for the last 15 years. Funny how we've never got caught for it. Anyway. Roosters will be a real threat hitting in September? I hope so. I hope so. I think so. All good, Lorenzo. See you later. All right, in the hands now of Cam McInnes. The captain of this side on the 4th now. Is Frank Bailey still the captain, or are they co-captains? I thought McInnes was the captain. No, Bailey's the captain. Damn. Anyway. Trindle, oh, he had a bit of a half opening there, but they're happy to just die with the ball. Having gone the length of the field, 10 minutes to go, they can protect that lead. Leaguie, can I sue Pepsi Co for not sponsoring you for 10k per Pepsi sip? Yes, you can. I'm about to earn myself 10k. Yeah, Lily, I think that's a very good top 8 prediction. I think that works. No one stands out as not being there. So... what does everyone think of the new TV broadcast deal? That's one of the many things I want to make a video about. I'll try and get to it next week, but unfortunately, the hype is kind of gone, so it's going to be like what they didn't tell you about the broadcast deal. I have to do some research. Anyway. So, kick there from Dylan Brown. It's high. It doesn't have a lot of length on it. They're going to try and contest and catch it. They do. Gagai gets it now to find Francis Manu-Leilua. He beelines for the try line. Is he going to get there? He's lost it, I think, behind him, has he? I don't know. That was awkward as anything. It's ruled a try, and this game is absolutely alive. God damn, I was like, give it to Dominic Young. Give it to Dominic Young. When he got tackled, I was like, oh no, he's not going to make it and he's going to regret not giving it to Dominic Young. But Francis Manu-Leilua, hell yes. Great catch there from Dan Gagai. Ronaldo Mulatalo had no idea where the ball was. Manu-Leilua got it. Let's see this put down. He kind of lost it behind him. I think he held it well there. As long as his legs were still in the field of play. There's a bit of a call. Braden Chinder was certainly looking towards the touchline there. But wow. Bren says, do you think Penrith played badly last night? We always suck when it's raining. Yes and no. If you, let's say you get the ball back from that Karapani over the sideline call and you win, it's kind of ruled to be a famous win. Oh, we're having a look. We're having a squeeze, folks. We're having a Captain Cook. We're having a Damien Cook, perchance. Has he gone into the touchline? That is the question here. I thought he might have lost it there. Yeah, he's lost it there. Knock on. It's going to be a no try. It's going to be, unfortunately... Wait, did I not? Oh, no. Yeah, that is a score. It's going to be a no try.
There's got to be an investigation into this. There's got to be... Someone's got to be accountable for this.
Tragic. Tragic. But it is what it is. That's probably robbed us of a very high-quality finish. But I did think, to be honest, that he lost it behind him. I commentated that live, so... Yeah, Matt, unfortunately, Gagai did not score. It was Manu-Leilua, and it was a no-try, so... Yeah. Again, though, that's a pretty key moment there. It's a good thing we have the bunker for that, isn't it? Because, tell you what, Newcastle would have had a very good opportunity to come back into the game and win if the bunker didn't exist there. So it's interesting. Will you wear your Roosters jersey? Hell yes. Yes, I will. Absolutely. Matt says it's a try, in my opinion. I certainly disagree. I think the ball, you could see, came free. So, anyway, the call is no try. I do support that. Brayley gets it to Nico Hines. Puts it high up in the air. Underneath it, it's going to be Greg Marju with a catch. Very much dreadlock season for him. They're flowing. They're flowing for Greg Marju. Jeff Tuvey always wanted an investigation. That he did.
There's got to be an investigation into this. There's got to be, someone's got to be accountable for this.
I don't know if I've seen him called Jeffrey Tuvey before. That's great from yourself. I'm a big fan of that. Absolutely. Illy Books says, I need Trindle. Like emotionally? Like, physically? How so? How so? Lily says, I'm a Roosters fan, but I made a deal with my friend, Broncos fan, that if Broncos somehow make finals, I have to switch over. Do you think I'm cooked? Absolutely not. Broncos are not making the finals. Do not worry. All right. So, they're going to spread it here to the left-hand side. Ponga dummies. Didn't really have much opportunity there. Back through the middle. They half appeal for some high contact. Anyway, Brown puts it high up in the air. They're chasing hard. They know their chases are running out here, the Newcastle Knights. Best goes up for it. Oh, he had a good grab at it. And if he caught it, he would have scored. But unfortunately, knock on Bradman Best. Did you hear about Robert Toya injury? No. I assumed he was getting rested. Was he? Because I know it was named in the reserves. Is it an actual injury? Well, TMC, okay, that's a very specific prediction. I certainly hope it's not the case, but we'll see. Matt says, I absolutely can't stand the Sydney Roosters. Well, I absolutely adore them with every fibre of my soul. So that's all right. We balance each other out. We balance each other out. All right, run there from KL Iro. Again, there was about 10 minutes left in this game, and I said, Cronulla have shut up shop. They know they can defend their way to this win, and I think it's not a bad way to play. But then again, it completely depends on the result of this game. A lot of people will be revisionist about it. But anyway, like, look, Penrith defending a 4-point lead last night. That's not a good way to play. 8 points, you can do that. You can do it. If Roosters lose, will you storm out of the room? Definitely not. I will just be... It will be a cap off on a really weird day for me. But I'll just be dejected. I'm not an angry fan, I think, as we know. So, yeah. All right, right here from Bradman Best. Wow, but my hair is doing funky things today, that's for sure. Damn, son. Dylan Lucas up over the 30. Remember that dude, I don't know if he's still here, who apparently bet his kids' life savings on Ponga to score a try? This is why you don't gamble, kids. Ponga, dummying. Oh my god, if he had scored there, because he did a little bit of a step, that would have been so funny. If he'd scored there. Would have been the best ad for gambler you could possibly imagine. Sportsbet would have clipped that up. You just know. Mooney, anyway. Don't you remember that try? 2023 Storm 1813? Absolutely, I do. It's one of the main reasons why Will Warbrick still gives me nightmares. Catch there by Will Kennedy. He's trying to escape the in-goal, but Sharp does well. Forces a dropout. Newcastle's chances are running out, but that's another good moment from them. I've seen you crash out after a Chooks game, Leaguie. I've done it before. It's very rare. I normally just get sad. I don't get angry. Ponga already scored? Did he? Oh, he did. Sorry, first minute. I forgot about that. Congratulations, young DGR. I guess that's why you gamble. No, definitely don't. So that's... I don't know who that's come off there. It's back off Cronulla. That's the ruling. And Adam Fanua-Blake, who went off earlier in this game, recovers the ball. So he's all right. No, definitely don't gamble. Definitely don't gamble. Why do I not remember the Ponga try whatsoever? They're getting into it. They're actually really getting into it here.
Oh, what about that? Send him off! Send the drifting gate off! Get him off the field! That was diabolical! That was absolute diabolical!
It were absolute diabolical. It really were. Leaguie, who did you tip? I'm coming for you. In this game, Cronulla. I nearly switched at kickoff, but I tipped Cronulla. I don't remember Ponga scoring either. I thought it was an assist. It says on NRL.com Ponga scored a try. It was in the corner, right-hand side. I do vaguely remember it. Penny going to go against Cronulla here. Okay. Newcastle should take the 2 here. Absolutely should take the 2 here. 100% should take the 2 here. Mathematically speaking, They should take the 2 here. No question about it. They should take the 2. They need to take the 2. Their chances of winning this game, percentage-wise, increase massively if they take the 2 here. And they tap and go. Why do teams do this? Are they dumb? Are they dumb, though? Respectfully to them. And they've lost the ball. Have they? Oh, no. Apparently Lucas is gone. I thought they knocked it on. Are they dumb, though? They now need 2 scores. If they score a try, they still need to score again. They had the chance to make it 1 score. They're going to challenge it here after losing the ball. Oh, no, they can't. Was it a forward pass? Is that the court? I'm not insane, right? I'm a guy who's pretty rooted in logic, yeah? Logically speaking, why would you not take the 2? But it's not just them. It's not the Knights that are dumb. Every team does that. When you're behind by 8, for some reason, they go for the try. It's one of the most unspoken but baffling things in the game, in my mind, that is the common practice. There's some moments where I'm like, look, the players on the field forgot more about rugby league than I will ever know. That's not one of them. I would be screaming if I was a Newcastle fan. Anyway, 3 minutes to go. 8 points, still the margin. Game's basically done, but anyway. Matt says, I tipped Melbourne Storm to beat Eastern Suburbs Roosters by 30 points tonight. Absolutely zero buys in there from yourself, Matt, I'm sure. After saying you despise the Roosters, so. Let's be real, most NRL players weren't the smartest at school, probably didn't pay attention in maths. Yeah, but I'm only, at the same time, using maths to illustrate a point. They're footy players, and their job is to win the game, and their chances of winning the game increase massively if they take the 2 there. So, I don't know. Blows my mind. Alright. That's an interesting Kangaroos Rugby League World Cup side that you've named there. It's George Dragons fan. I'm not sure I agree with Drinkwater or Strange. Strange maybe, but he's not a centre. People just assume. Anyway, Ponga there with it. Takes a tackle. Which team do you think is most likely to get exposed next for breaching the cap? Roosters. I don't think we will, but I don't think anyone's likely to. Alright. That's a knock-on from Sione Katoa. Best sockers it through. He sockers it through again. He's still chasing this here. Marju gets it and gets to the line and scores. They've scored a try. You know what? A miracle could happen. A miracle could happen. I like that song a lot. It was just hitting hope, really, from Dylan Brown. Katoa could not deal with it. Best socketed it through once. Best socketed it through twice. Hiroti definitely, that was illegal in terms of contesting it. But Marju picked it up and just slid over. If they don't have someone that can kick a 2-point field goal, they should probably decline the kick here. But anyway. Wow. Wow. Okay. They're going to try and take the conversion here. Ponga has kicked 0 from 3. Knights have scored more tries than the Cronulla Sharks in this game. That's crazy. He hits it. And he gets that one. 2 points to the margin. The Knights have scored more points than Cronulla. That's crazy. Just more points, more tries. But they trail by 2. I'm not going to get snide and say, wow, they could have used the penalty goal earlier, because obviously the try wouldn't have then happened. But if they had kicked that penalty goal and they managed to get a try, it's level pegging now. It's level pegging. Knights and Podcast is losing his mind. I bet he is. Was he losing his mind about not taking the 2 earlier? Greg Marju has scored Marj 2. That's good from yourself. That's very good from yourself. Strange plays centre for PM's 13 and was a star player. Yeah, but I was against a Papua New Guinean B-grade selection. So overly difficult. Respect to PNG, but not overly difficult. They have a minute here, the Newcastle Knights, to get 2 points on the board and send us to Golden Point, or get 4 points on the board. Can Ponga kick a 40-meter? I don't think so. I think he's their best bet. They're going to try shifting it here. Ponga, not a terrible run, but not a great run, unfortunately. Now in the hands of Matt Croker. They're not getting far enough downfield. They need a set restart. They need a penalty. They need something. Brown. They're just going to keep spreading it. Side to side. Mooney, I think. No, it's Danny Gagai. The shaved head kind of makes him look like Mooney. Anyway, I was like, what is Mooney doing out at center? Probably just sort of realized that it was Gagai. They're just going to go side to side again here. Ponga will put a kick in. I tell you what, they're going to recover this. Sock it on again. That was not the play. That was not the play. Trindle gets it, and the game will be won. Unfortunately, it was just way too heavy there. I think it was Dylan Lucas. The kick through was good. The second kick was not. And Cronulla will hold on. Cronulla will hold on. As the clock ticks down, 10 seconds to go, Newcastle will be thinking, how the hell did they not win this game? It's certainly one that got away from them. They've shown they can compete. I'll give them that with higher quality opposition. But on the night, the Cronulla-Sutherland Sharks get a win that consolidates their position certainly in the top 4. They're looking good. They're going to be a tricky side to play come finals time. They could pull off an upset for sure. Not an ideal night for Newcastle, but it is certainly up Cronulla there at Shark Park. All right, how long do we have until game number 2? We have a solid 13 minutes. I'm going to go get changed into my Roosters gear. It'll be about 5 or so minutes. Go get a cup of tea. Stay on the stream because it will redirect you to the next one. But go get a cup of tea. Come back. I'll play out the Cronulla song. I played the wrong song yesterday, but I'll play out the wrong song. And once it's over, I'll switch over to the new stream and we'll be ready to go. Anyway, I'll be back in but a little rugby league moment. See you lot in a bit.
Sharks forever. Go out and play without fear. Now's the time to see good football, for the Sharks are here. Cronulla, the boys in the black, white and blue. Up, Cronulla, name of the Sharks with you. Sharks